Okay, so restart my timer there. We're going to do number 13 now from section 2.3, and the directions say find f prime of x and f prime of c, and they even give you a value of c, and they say that it's c equal to 0. So what are they asking for? Well, what this is saying is if they just give you the function and find f prime of x, really what they say is find the arbitrary derivative, meaning that the derivative that can be evaluated at any value for x, and then evaluate it for one specific value of x, x equal to c, and they give you a value of c equal to 0. So they're saying find an arbitrary function which expresses the derivative, and then evaluate the derivative at a value of x equal to 0, or c equal to 0. Okay, so first we need to find the derivative of this function. So f prime of x, and we'll use the product rule, right? So we have x cubed plus 4x times 3x squared plus 2x. You know what? I am going to make it a little bit easier here. Sorry about that. So what we're going to do is use the product rule, and the product rule states that the derivative is going to be equal to, you hold one constant, right? One of your two things that are being multiplied. So we have the first thing being multiplied is this, right? So this is the first thing, the first factor that's being multiplied, and this is the second factor which is being multiplied. So we hold one of these two things constant and take the derivative of the other. So let's hold the first one constant right here, this number one grouping, number one factor. So we'll hold this one constant and take the derivative of the other. So the derivative of this is going to be use the power rule on the first term. So we bring down the 2, multiply that to the constant multiple that's out in front of it of 3. So we have 6x for the first term. The second term, the derivative of x is 1. We can see that by the power rule if we want, right? So x to a first power, bring down the 1, subtract the 1, subtract 1 by 1. So that'll be x to a 0, and anything to a 0 power is 1. So the derivative of x is 1, so we have this constant multiple of 2 that we have to multiply that by. So the derivative of 2x is 2. And then the derivative of negative 5 is 0. So that's our first term. Or that is our first term. And then we're going to add to that. I didn't give myself enough room here. So I'm going to come down to the next line and just pretend that it carries on, right? Is that we hold the other factor constant and take the derivative of the thing that we didn't hold constant in the first term. So we take the derivative of this time. So that's going to be power rule again, 3x squared. Derivative of 4x, much like the derivative of 2x, is just going to be plus 4. And then we're going to multiply that to this second factor. And that's just held constant, so we don't take its derivative. Plus 2x minus 5. And that's an application of the power rule. So now what's left is just to simplify. So we'll do the distribution of first outside, inside, last on this first term. So we distribute that, and we get 6x to a fourth plus 2x cubed. Right, and then we're going to get 24x squared. Right, and then we're going to get finally plus 8x. So that's all the ones from our distribution in this first term. We'll do the next one, right? So we need to take 3x squared and multiply it to each one of these. So we get, and I'm going to continue it on to the next line, right? So we get 3x squared times 3x squared. So that is going to give me, yes, 3x squared times 3x squared, which is going to be 9x to a fourth. 3x squared times 2x, which is going to give me 6x cubed. Then I am going to be plus, right? So 8x plus 9x to a fourth plus 6x cubed, etc. So then 3x squared minus 5, which is going to give me minus 15x squared. Notice that I kind of kept all these powers in line here, right? And there's a reason for that, because I'm just going to add them all up when I'm done. So then finally I have this constant of 4 multiplied to each one of these. So this is going to be plus, or 4 times 3x squared, so that's going to be plus. Notice that I'm not going down exactly right in line here. That's going to be plus 12x squared. 4 times 2x is plus 8x. And then 4 times minus 5 is minus 20. I'm going to draw a big old line right here and tally up my like terms. That's going to be equal to, well, 9 and 6 is 15, x to a fourth. 6 and 2 is 8x cubed. Then we have, well, the 15 and the negative 15 and plus 12 make minus 3. And then, so that means that I just take away 3 from 24. And so I should be left with plus 21. Right? Plus 21? Yes. X squared, continue that down a little bit, plus 16x minus 20. And that's the derivative. And most of the work was like pre-calc stuff, right? The actual product rule wasn't bad. It was just doing out the distributions afterward. Okay, so then it says to evaluate this derivative for a particular value of x. They call it, or a particular value of c instead, of 0. So all we have to do is just plug that value into this general function that we found for the derivative. And that's pretty easy. Any term that has an x in it will become 0, right? Because anything multiplied by 0 will become 0 itself. So all these things will all become 0, and the only thing that I'm going to be left over with is my constant value here. So that's just going to be minus 20. And that should be the answer. Okay, so that was number 13. Next one that we'll do, I think, is 59.